What if that pain that you live with day in and day out isn't about where you hurt? It's a disrupted signal going to the brain that's in a pain loop. And have you noticed that with pain that you start looking at, well, I won't go up the stairs, and I don't think I can go walking, and I probably always better get a scooter because I don't have capacity to walk through a store or a mall. Are you looking at ways that you're reducing your life because pain has become a constant companion? Well, today I'm going to talk about how you can change that fast. And it's so easy. You will go, why has no one told me about this? Well, that's because you hadn't been here before. So today I'm going to talk about how you can interrupt that pain pathway. Because over 80% of the pain, chronic pain, goes through a very specific pain way and brain pathway. And when it's out of balance, you're stuck. You're stuck in that pain. When you flip a switch in that pathway, pain changes. We've seen that over and over in our clinic, in our office. And as a naturopath and wisdom coach, when you can help someone get out of pain, you become their instant best friend. So I want to help you walk through that process and stay tuned to the end, because some of these stories are just mind-boggling. It's just like, how did that happen? Sometimes it almost feels like it's a miracle. And when you get out of pain, that's exactly what it is. It's a miracle because there is a way out. You see, when you struggle with pain and certain parts of your body hurt, you start restricting movement. Your range of motion lessens. You do fewer things. That impacts every part of your brain because the brain does so much better with movement. And yet when we're in pain, we don't have access to any of that. And we find so many things disappearing. And then we go to more meds. More meds impact the health of our body, certainly our liver. And sometimes they don't allow us to, even if it gets rid of the pain, they don't allow us to restore movement, restore range of motion, being able to do things that were so easy as a child. We learned about pain and its impact about 10 years ago with our study and deep dive into neurology. And when I'd be working with a client, maybe they came in with a tennis elbow, and for us to go work with their knee, and all of a sudden they were like, I don't hurt. What did you do? It's pretty exciting. But that was only one-on-one. It took time, and people had to understand it. So I kept thinking, if it can change that fast by doing something in a different part of the brain and a different part of the body, what would it be like if we could discover a tool that could instantly turn off that pain switch? Well, we found it. We found it. Drum roll, because it's so exciting. Yes, it's a super patch called Freedom. And this Freedom patch is freedom from pain. And a lot of people struggle with pain. This little 1.5 by 1.5 little patch. When you peel off the backing, this one is very easy to do. And when you do it, remember this red. It means you're going to stop the pain. And when you put it on your body, the little ridges on here go from your skin instantly to your nervous system, instantly to the brain pathway that regulates pain in your body, whether acute or chronic. It instantly puts that brain pathway that's been out of balance, dysfunctional, into balance and homeostasis, proven with EEG testing. It's been clinically studied. It's been done with placebo studies to the point of being a 0.0001, which means a 1 in 1,000 chance it's placebo. That's considered the gold standard. So this one is pretty easy to tell if it works. So when you put it on the skin, you want to put it where there's no nerve damage, no hair, no scar tissue. You also want to put it above the pain point. So let's say that your low back hurts right in here, right here at the hip. Then you would want to put one just above that. You want to be between the pain point and the brain, because that's the pathway that we want to shift. And if you put it on and you go, yeah, Cheryl, I told you, no difference. Well, that's because your chronic pain is so high, it's the only one of the super patches that 2 may be required. So then you'd put another one maybe up here closer to the brain. And I would say it's like 95 to 98% of the time with 2 patches of freedom, pain is gone. I want to share some of the stories because in the midst of these stories are things that tie in what doctors have you do to see if your PT is working, if you can get any better, if you can restore range of motion. So let's take a look at these stories and see where you fit in this process of stopping the pain. Well, let's start with me. I had to go in for some dental work and I had a horrible tooth pain. Have you ever had a tooth pain? They are real annoying and they're very distracting. So I decided to give it a try because I don't usually have pain. It's just not part of my life. So I just don't think about it. But this really hurt. So it was going to be a day or two before I could get to the dentist to get what needed to be done. But I didn't want to hurt and I didn't want to take a bunch of garbage. So since I wasn't going to be seeing clients and I wasn't going to be on video, I just put it right down here by my tooth. And guess what happened? The pain went away. And I was like, it really does work. This is pretty cool. But then the next story I want to share with you is one that is just really special because this is a man who's dealt with pain all of his life. He had 4 discs that were ruptured and he was in tremendous pain. He was doing a lot of pain meds, but he was in such discomfort he couldn't do the PT that would help him to get better. So let's go through what he did because it's pretty powerful. He's 70 years old. So pain can happen at any age. His pain level, I always ask people before you put on a patch, what's your pain level on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 is no pain, 10 is, ugh. You said, Cheryl, it's 12. So that's pretty high. Nothing touched it. He was doing all kinds of pain meds. He was miserable. And when you're miserable in pain, you're kind of miserable to be around. So in PT, they had been giving him an assessment test. So let's go through what his scores were and then what happened. So the test was to stand up, walk 6 feet, turn around and sit back down. Pretty simple. Took him 27 seconds to get up, walk, and come back. He could barely finish that 6-foot walk. And then he also needed to do sit to stand. So he would stand up and sit. He was to go from seated to standing 5 times. It took him 37 seconds. And he had to push himself off the arm of the chair to get enough oomph to get up. So are you ready for the results? The results are what tell you what's working. So he started wearing the peace patch. The first one he put on, no change. So he put on 2. He had one down here and he had one up here. So the same walking test that took him 27 seconds to walk 6 feet, took him 8 seconds, no pain. Then from sitting to standing, he was able to do 5 reps in 7 seconds versus 37, and he didn't have to use the arm of the chair to get up and no pain. Do you think that kind of freedom from pain and freedom to move would change your life? So here's what happened to him. For a few days, he was wearing 2 patches. He started doing all of the PT, which is useful because you want to rehab what pain has done to your body. Within a very short period of time, he's down to 1 patch. He stayed on that. His life has returned to a normalcy he's not had in decades. Freedom from pain and freedom to move. I think that's a gift for anybody who lives with chronic pain, because chronic pain shuts down your life, shuts down your movement, shuts down all kinds of options to just go out and be a human being. And it also says that our brains just about had it with life. So if you're in that place where you don't have range of motion, you're shutting down movement, you're sitting in your chair more and more, which is slowly destroying your brain. It hurts to move. You're to the point where you're really feeling sorry for yourself because it really does hurt. And you just don't want to take another pill. And you're hesitant that anything can work for you. Well, what if a little patch could work for you? This is when I encourage people. I'm a naturopath and a wisdom coach, and I encourage people to play, notice, and discover. And nowhere has that been easier than with the patches. Playing with location, playing with the patches, see what you notice, see what you discover, because it can change your life so fast and so dramatically. You'll only wonder, why didn't I try it sooner? So if you're ready for that kind of a change, then get back to the person who referred you to this video. Look at the information in the description, because freedom is just a patch away.